What if one trailer could make the entire Heartland fandom emotional before the new season even begins? That's exactly what happened when the first look at Heartland Season 20 BRT started creating excitement among fans. It wasn't because of huge action scenes or shocking explosions. Instead, it was the small, emotional moments, the peaceful ranch atmosphere, and the familiar faces that reminded everyone why they fell in love with this series in the first place. But here's the biggest question. Is this beautiful trailer quietly hiding some heartbreaking surprises? Could the happiest moments actually be setting up the biggest emotional journey Amy has faced in years? Today, we're breaking down every major detail, every emotional clue, and every hidden hint that could completely change the future of Heartland. And trust me, the final prediction might surprise every longtime fan. The first thing that immediately stands out about the Season 20 trailer is its emotional atmosphere. Instead of focusing on fast-paced drama, the trailer spends its time reminding us why Heartland has remained one of the most loved family dramas for so many years. Every moment feels calm, warm, and filled with hope. That alone tells us something very important about where this new season may be heading. After everything the characters went through in Season 19, fans were expecting another season filled with difficult choices and painful conflicts. But surprisingly, the trailer suggests something different. Rather than showing everyone falling apart again, it feels like the characters are finally beginning to heal. Of course, that doesn't mean there won't be problems. Heartland has always balanced happiness with emotional challenges, and that formula is unlikely to change. However, this time the focus seems to be on new beginnings instead of painful endings. One person who immediately catches everyone's attention is Amy. She appears calmer and more confident than we've seen in a long time. Throughout the past few seasons, we watched her slowly rebuild her life after losing Ty. That journey wasn't easy. Every season showed her taking one small step forward while still carrying memories that would never disappear. But now, the trailer gives fans the feeling that Amy is finally allowing herself to fully embrace the future. And of course, that future naturally brings everyone's attention to Nathan. Many viewers believe Nathan could become the most important person in Amy's next chapter. Over the course of Season 19, we saw him become someone Amy could trust. He never tried to replace anyone from her past. Instead, he respected her journey while proving that he genuinely cared about both Amy and Lindy. That slow development is exactly why so many fans have accepted this relationship. It never felt rushed. Instead, it grew naturally through patience, understanding, and mutual respect. The trailer continues building on that connection. Even without revealing too much, it creates the feeling that Nathan is becoming a permanent part of Amy's life. And honestly, that's exactly what many viewers have been waiting for. After years of watching Amy struggle with grief, seeing her smile again feels incredibly rewarding. However, Heartland has never been a show that gives its characters happiness without asking them to make difficult decisions first. That's why I believe the trailer is intentionally hiding the biggest emotional conflict of Season 20. If Amy truly decides to move forward with Nathan, that choice could affect every part of her life. It isn't simply about starting a new relationship. It also means accepting that life continues even after unimaginable loss. That is one of the hardest emotional challenges anyone can face, and Heartland has always handled these subjects with honesty and compassion. Another interesting detail is how peaceful the ranch feels throughout the trailer. Normally, trailers hint at major disasters, financial struggles, or dangerous accidents. This time, however, the ranch almost feels like a symbol of hope. It reminds viewers that no matter how much life changes, Heartland remains a place where people heal, grow, and discover who they truly are. But don't let that peaceful feeling fool you. Sometimes the happiest trailers hide the biggest surprises. Heartland has done this before. The marketing often focuses on emotional comfort while keeping the most shocking storylines completely secret. That strategy makes every episode much more exciting because viewers never know exactly what's waiting around the corner. One more detail fans immediately noticed is how much stronger the entire family appears together. After so many seasons of facing loss, conflict, and uncertainty, everyone seems more united than ever. Jack continues to provide wisdom. Lou appears more relaxed. Katie seems ready for a completely new chapter of her own. Even the younger generation looks prepared to carry Heartland into its future. That sense of family may actually become the biggest theme of season 20. Instead of asking whether these characters can survive another crisis, the story may ask something even more meaningful. How do you build an even stronger family after everything you've already survived? And if that's truly the direction season 20 is taking, then the emotional moments we've seen in the trailer may only be the beginning. Because one beautiful smile, one quiet conversation, or one unexpected decision could completely change the future of Heartland forever. The biggest reason fans are calling the season 20 trailer so lovely is not just the scenery or the music. It is the feeling that Amy may finally be stepping into a future that belongs entirely to her. And if that is true, then Nathan could become the center of the most important storyline in the new season. Throughout season 19, Heartland took its time developing their connection. Instead of forcing a romance, the show focused on trust. We saw Nathan support Amy during difficult moments, respect her boundaries, and genuinely care about Lindy. That slow approach made many viewers believe this relationship has a stronger foundation than a typical television romance. Now the trailer seems to be asking a much bigger question. What happens when Amy stops looking back and finally starts looking forward? I think season 20 will explore that idea in a very emotional way. One possibility that keeps appearing in fan discussions is the idea of a new home. As many viewers remember, Nathan previously heard about a ranch that he believed would be perfect for Amy. At the time, it felt like a small detail, but Heartland often plants important story clues long before they become major storylines. Imagine Amy being offered the chance to start fresh somewhere new. On the surface, it sounds exciting. A new ranch, a new beginning, and a new family life. But for Amy, the decision would be much more complicated than that. Heartland Ranch is not just a place where she lives. It is where she grew up. It is where she learned to understand horses. It is where she became a mother. And it is where she shared some of the most important memories of her life with Ty. Leaving those memories behind would not be easy. That is why I believe one of the most emotional parts of season 20 could be Amy struggling with the difference between honoring the past and embracing the future. The trailer's warm and hopeful tone may be preparing viewers for exactly that journey. Interestingly, Lindy could become the person who helps Amy make her final decision. We have already seen that Lindy feels comfortable around Nathan. Their relationship appears natural, and that matters more than anything. For Amy, choosing a future with Nathan would never be only about her own happiness. It would also be about creating a stable and loving environment for her daughter. If Lindy is excited about this new chapter, Amy may finally feel permission to be excited too. And that leads to another prediction that has fans talking non-stop. Could season 20 reveal that Amy is expecting a baby? At the moment, this is only speculation, but it would fit the emotional direction suggested by the trailer. A new child would symbolize something Heartland has focused on for years, life continuing even after loss. It would also give the show a chance to explore Amy and Nathan's relationship in a completely new way. Many fans are especially curious about what kind of father Nathan would be. So far, we have seen him as a supportive partner and a caring presence in Lindy's life. But becoming a father figure full-time would be a much bigger responsibility. Heartland usually allows characters to grow through family challenges, and Nathan could be next in line for that kind of development. Of course, if Amy and Nathan move toward marriage, a new ranch, or even a larger family, that does not mean everything will suddenly become perfect. In fact, that is when the real challenges usually begin. Building a life together is often harder than falling in love. They would need to decide where to live, how to balance their responsibilities, and what role Heartland Ranch will continue to play in their future. Amy has deep roots there, while Nathan may be thinking about opportunities beyond the ranch. Those differences could create some of the season's strongest emotional conflicts. And honestly, that is what makes this storyline so interesting. The trailer gives viewers happiness, but it also creates uncertainty. We see the possibility of a beautiful future, yet we can feel that Amy is standing at a crossroads. One path keeps her close to the life she has always known. The other path asks her to risk change in order to find something new. Heartland has always been at its best when characters face choices that have no easy answer. That is why I think Amy's journey will become the emotional heart of season 20. Will she choose the safety of familiar memories? Will she choose the excitement of a new beginning with Nathan? Or will she discover that moving forward does not mean leaving the past behind at all? The trailer does not give us the answer. But it does make one thing very clear. Amy's next decision could change not only her own future, but the future of everyone at Heartland Ranch. And if that decision arrives sooner than expected, fans may be in for one of the most emotional episodes the series has ever delivered. While Amy and Nathan may be at the center of the season 20 story, the trailer also hints that the rest of the Heartland family is entering a brand new chapter. And if you've watched this series for years, you already know that some of the biggest emotional moments often come from the supporting characters. One person I'm especially excited to watch is Jack. For nearly 2 decades, Jack has been the heart of Heartland Ranch. Whenever the family faced a crisis, he was the one who stayed calm and reminded everyone what truly mattered. But after everything he has carried over the years, it feels like Season 20 may finally reward him with a quieter and happier life. The trailer gives off a peaceful feeling whenever Jack is involved, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Instead of constantly solving new problems, I believe this season will allow Jack to enjoy the ranch without carrying every responsibility on his shoulders. That doesn't mean he'll disappear from the story. Quite the opposite. His experience and wisdom are still needed, but his role may begin shifting from leader to mentor. One prediction I really like is the possibility of Jack spending more time helping the younger generation develop their skills. Whether it's working with horses, sharing ranch knowledge, or simply offering advice during difficult moments, Jack has always been at his best when guiding others instead of fixing every problem himself. And honestly, seeing Jack finally enjoy some peace would make a lot of longtime fans happy. Now, let's talk about Lou. Season 19 placed a huge amount of pressure on her. Between family responsibilities and managing the ranch, it often felt like she barely had time to breathe. Even when she tried to balance everything, something always demanded her attention. But the Season 20 trailer feels different. Instead of showing Lou under constant stress, it presents a much calmer version of her. That makes me think she may finally begin trusting others with more responsibility around Heartland Ranch. If that happens, it could completely change her storyline. Rather than focusing only on work, Lou may finally have the opportunity to spend more meaningful time with her family. And considering everything she's sacrificed over the years, that would be a well-earned change. Of course, Heartland never keeps things peaceful for too long. Which brings us to Katie. Out of all the younger characters, Katie may have one of the most interesting journeys this season. She's no longer the little girl viewers remember from earlier seasons. She's growing up, making difficult choices, and beginning to understand that relationships are never as simple as they seem. The trailer doesn't reveal much about her future, but it does leave plenty of room for speculation. I think Season 20 could explore Katie's feelings in a much deeper way than before. Many fans believe she still has complicated emotions involving Dex. After everything that happened, it wouldn't be surprising if those feelings eventually came to the surface. But admitting how you feel and actually starting a relationship are two very different things. Even if Katie tells Dex the truth, I don't believe the situation will be that simple. Dex has his own future to think about, and there are other relationships that could make everything much more complicated. Heartland has always handled love stories carefully, avoiding unnecessary drama while keeping the emotions realistic. That's exactly why this storyline could become so interesting. Sometimes the hardest decision isn't choosing who you love. It's deciding whether saying anything at all is worth risking an important friendship. At the same time, another new face could completely change Katie's future. Season 20 introduces a new character named Miles, and I think his arrival could become one of the biggest surprises of the entire season. Whenever Heartland introduces someone new, it's usually for an important reason. New characters don't simply appear to fill space. They often bring fresh opportunities, unexpected friendships, or completely different perspectives that help existing characters grow. Miles may be exactly that kind of person. Instead of reopening old relationship problems, he could represent a completely fresh start for Katie. Sometimes the person we're meant to meet isn't someone we've known for years. Sometimes it's someone who arrives when we're finally ready to move forward. That possibility fits perfectly with the overall message of the trailer. Season 20 doesn't feel like it's about repeating old stories. It feels like it's about opening new chapters. And that's exactly why fans are feeling so emotional after watching the trailer. Everyone seems to be moving toward a brighter future, but Heartland has taught us one important lesson over the years. Life never follows the plan we expect. Just when everything appears peaceful, one unexpected event can change everything. So, while Amy may be making life-changing decisions with Nathan, and Katie may be discovering where her heart truly belongs, another question remains unanswered. Could the trailer be hiding one major twist that affects the entire Fleming Bartlett family? If that's the case, then the biggest surprise of season 20 may still be waiting for us. And honestly, I don't think the trailer has revealed even half of what the writers are keeping secret. Now let's talk about the biggest mystery surrounding this trailer. Why has it made so many Heartland fans emotional? It isn't because the trailer reveals a shocking twist or an unexpected disaster. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It reminds everyone why this series has remained special for so many years. Unlike many television dramas that rely on constant surprises, Heartland has always focused on family, hope, and personal growth. That is exactly what the season 20 trailer seems to celebrate. Every moment feels warm, peaceful, and full of optimism. But if you've watched Heartland for a long time, you also know that the calmest moments often come right before life changes forever. That's why I believe the trailer is hiding far more than it's showing. One detail that really stands out is how confident every member of the family looks. There doesn't seem to be the same level of stress that we saw during season 19. Instead, everyone appears to have found a little more balance in their lives. That could mean the writers want season 20 to focus less on surviving difficult situations and more on discovering what happiness actually looks like after years of hardship. For Amy, happiness means allowing herself to dream again. For Jack, it could mean enjoying the ranch without carrying every responsibility alone. For Lou, it may be about finding the right balance between work and family. And for Katie, it might finally be time to discover where her future truly belongs. When you look at the trailer from that perspective, every small moment starts feeling much more important. Another interesting thing is how much attention the trailer gives to the ranch itself. Heartland Ranch has always been more than just a beautiful location. It represents family, healing, and second chances. No matter how far the characters travel or how difficult life becomes, they always find their way back to the ranch. That is why many fans believe the ranch itself will play an emotional role in season 20. If Amy really begins thinking about starting a new life with Nathan, then Heartland Ranch becomes more than just her home. It becomes the place where she has to decide whether she's ready to begin a completely different chapter. That choice alone could become one of the most emotional moments of the entire season. But here's another theory that deserves attention. What if the trailer is intentionally avoiding the season's biggest conflict? Heartland has done this before. Promotional trailers usually focus on hope, while keeping the real surprises completely hidden. That allows viewers to enter the season without already knowing every important twist. So while the trailer looks peaceful, I wouldn't be surprised if the writers have prepared at least one major storyline that no one is expecting. It could involve the ranch, it could involve one of the newer characters, or it could be a challenge that tests Amy and Nathan's relationship much sooner than fans expect. Whatever happens, I don't think season 20 will simply give every character an easy and perfect ending. Growth has always come through difficult choices, and that will probably remain true this season as well. At the same time, the trailer sends another message that longtime viewers immediately recognized. Heartland is entering a brand new era. Many of the younger characters are becoming more important, while longtime favorites are beginning to step into mentoring roles. That natural transition has been happening slowly over the last several seasons, and season 20 may finally complete it. Instead of saying goodbye to the Heartland family, viewers may actually be watching the next generation prepare to carry the story forward. That possibility makes the trailer feel even more meaningful. It isn't simply showing another season. It feels like it's celebrating everything the series has built over the years while preparing fans for an exciting new future. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons people became emotional